Today, I'm going to try to take this little foam shamrock and turn it into the Kelpo Toy from SpongeBob. And I really don't like glitter, but apparently it's almost impossible to find anything shamrock shaped that isn't covered in it. So I tried to go with my X-Acto and kind of carve out his eye stalks or whatever, but that's not working out very well, so I think I'm just gonna cut it off like right here. Before I do anything else, I gotta seal up this glitter. It's driving me insane. So I think instead what I'm gonna do for the eyes is I found these charms and I'm just gonna add some epoxy sculpt to the back of them to give them a bit more thickness. After they hardened, I went ahead and sanded down the edges to make them smooth, and now I'm gonna glue them into the shamrock. So now I'm going back in with some epoxy sculpt to fill in some of the gaps around the eyes, and we're also adding some to either side to make it a bit more symmetrical. Here it is the next day. It's all hardened. Just gonna sand it down a bit. I also went in and glued this button on the bottom to look like the rim at the base of his neck, but now we can finally get to painting. Now onto the arms and legs. I busted out my doll shoe drawer again and pulled these two out that didn't have a mat. I trimmed them down to make them smaller and then filling them in with clay. Then for the arms, I used some more clay with some little bits of toothpicks that I'm then gonna cover with Mod Podge to help round everything out. Then we're gonna add paint, then to the hands. Now for the body, for some reason as a kid, I collected marker caps for a bit. And they're actually coming in handy for once because I think this purple Expo marker cap will work pretty well. So I used my X-Acto to trim off these ridges here, remove the center, then also trimmed it a bit shorter, then sanded the outside, and then finally added another button to fill in the bottom. So I did decide to go in and add some epoxy sculpt to build the shape a little bit, and then I also added the holes for the arms and legs. And now we're going to move on to some facial details. Paint the mouth, some buttons for the eyes, doink, doink. Some slivers of cardstock for the eyelashes, which I stiffened up using some Mod Podge. And then for the final detail of the red button, I'm going to be using, you guessed it, a red button. Now all that's left is to seal everything up with some Mod Podge. And here he is, SpongeBob's Kelpo Toy, all finished. His Mod Podge is still drying in some spots, but look at him! He's just a little guy. And yeah, he looks a lot different from the initial base that we started with. I ended up using a lot more clay than I thought I would. And buttons. I didn't expect to use any for this project and used 5 of them. And to be honest, I wasn't a fan of this episode as a kid with this toy in it, but I think this is definitely one of my more favorite projects. And I mean, look how cute he is with SpongeBob.